What is going on, everyone? My name is David, back at it again with a new video. So today we're going to do something a little different, something I thought would be kind of fun. I went through and just found some random Yu-Gi-Oh articles, okay? I just Googled Yu-Gi-Oh articles, found some that were made relatively soon. I have not read them yet. I like to see what other people outside of the community think about this game, and I've got 5 articles here, all of varying topics. We're just going to go through and read them and see if we found anything funny, anything interesting, might learn something, might cringe at something. You never know. But either way, we're going to go ahead and go. The very first article is on this Panic Mode website. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! The best terrible card game ever made. We're going to figure out why he doesn't like this game so much. Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a poorly designed game. Most collectible card games are, in one way or another, but even compared to its contemporaries, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a mess. Oh boy. Hot takes. The rules text on the cards is tiny, poorly written, and needlessly complicated. And he uses Timaeus. Okay, like you couldn't have used I don't know, like Nirvana. Like if you're gonna show how complicated the card is, use like a pendulum synchro, and then tell someone in 2002, look at this, what is this thing? Its metagame is defined by power creep, a type of design. I mean, what card game isn't, right? A type of design wherein newer cards are more powerful than older ones, and an extensive list of restricted cards of which you are not allowed to use. So wait, what? I don't know if he's complaining that we have a list, or you talk about power creep and then complain about the list, whatever. Which leads to moments like this. He's got linked to some Asian Eyes video. And by the way, shout out to Asian Eyes. I haven't thought about that guy forever, man. But I don't know what he's playing, but I'm pretty sure it's just some wombo combo deck. Don't worry if you can't follow what's going on. I certainly can't anymore. Design origins. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a curious origin, and one that still greatly informs the game it is today. Before it was a card game, it was a manga by Kazuki Takahashi, the Godfather. The manga didn't initially center around the card game, instead following a boy named Yugi, who would engage his enemies in a variety of tabletop games. Yugi was depicted as feeble and inept, but when he played these games, he was confident and capable. Okay, cool. Weird how young gamers were able to relate, huh? Huh. Get it. Okay. Eventually the manga came to focus on duel monsters, the diegetic version, I have no idea how to say that word, I'm sorry, that we know in the real world as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. Fans of the game clamored for a real-life version of duel monsters, and game developer publisher Konami obliged. The initial version of the game stole a lot of its designs from Magic the Gathering, who also gleaned many rules based on the game's depiction in the manga. Okay. To be fair, everyone stole from Magic the Gathering. I mean, I guess. I don't really see how these two, you trying to claim that Magic invented dragons, I guess. Maybe they did. And this is where the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game differed greatly from its contemporaries. It was a promotional material, or, as Caleb Compton wrote in his analysis of the game, when putting together the rules of the game, the foremost concern was not what will make the best game, but what will make the most exciting for the manga story. I mean, fair. A lot of people, base their opinions on Yu-Gi-Oh! Based off the first season of the anime, but when they realize that season was meant to be a shonen, not a strategic card game, then you see, it was meant to be watched the same way you'd watch Dragon Ball Z, right? It's meant for the fights. It's not meant for what makes sense. Games as stories. While Compton sees Yu-Gi-Oh!'s prioritization of exciting stories over good card game design as a flaw, I believe that this focus on story is the key to Yu-Gi-Oh!'s success. The card game, the manga, the anime, they all work together to make players feel as confident and capable as Yugi when they play. Is the card game strategically dynamic or interesting? Not particularly. That's not true. Does it tell an exciting story? Hi. Being conscientious of your game's story during development is a fundamental game design practice. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game that just happens to lean heavily on its narrative elements. Admittedly, not every game has the luxury of its story being supplemented by multiple mangas, animes, and fan-made parodies, but that's okay. The design principle to be learned here is that if you can make your players feel something, it doesn't really matter how you got there. Okay, so overall, I would say, like, solid. Like, if you're gonna have an opinion, back it up, right? There's a few things, but like, I get what he's saying. Not everyone likes this game, and this is someone that thinks the game is like, he may like it, but he definitely has some critiques about it, which is fair. A lot of people complain that the game is very fast. Alright, we're gonna go to the next article, which is, why are Yu-Gi-Oh cards so expensive? This is a relevant. This was published. Okay, this was published pretty recently. So we're gonna figure out why they're so expensive. They have all the answers right here. Over the years, the gaming industry has seen its fair share of astonishing card games, and people just can't have enough of these. Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is amongst the most popular trading card games out there right now. Despite the fact that the game was launched all the way back in 2002, sorry, there's some there's some errors. I'm trying to add in the correct words. All the way back in 2002, Yu-Gi-Oh's popularity seems to be growing more than ever, and during all of this time, the game has produced thousands of cards. With time, these cards started getting more expensive. But the question here is, what makes Yu-Gi-Oh cards so expensive? Let's find out. Rarity of the cards. There are actually many reasons that make these cards so expensive, and of those reasons is the rarity of these cards. There are a type of rarities of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and what makes these cards stand out is the different artwork on each type. Here's a list of rarities: common, super rare, ultra rare, ultimate, ghost or secret, ghost or star foil, mosaic rare. You've also got like the lottery cards too, like your Starlight collector rares. As you move up in the cards rarity list, the prices would also go higher, but this isn't the only factor contributing to determining the worth of cards. Popularity of the cards. Fair. Popularity plays a crucial role in the prices of these cards. The more popular and in demand the card is, the higher the prices will be. Now, obviously, he's not saying anything that's not true of any card game, but so far he's on point, because rarity does matter, and also so does like in demand. A secret rare can be a $2 card, but you can have a super rare be $50. You know, it just depends on the limited runs and stuff. Limited cards. What makes these cards popular is the competitiveness in the game. The players are always searching for ways to come up with winning decks, and that requires them to try on different combination of cards, which consequently increases the prices of these cards. Limited cards. There are also super rare category that makes these cards super expensive, and that includes promotional, classic, and limited edition cards. Yes. These cards aren't affected by the above mentioned factors, but what makes them super expensive is that they are only so much cards to have. The classic cards are expensive due to the fact there are only a few cards that are still in good shape. The limited edition and promotional cards are expensive due to the very short supply against a high demand. Okay. Most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now that we know what makes these cards so expensive, let's look at the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards of all time. Tournament Blackluster Soldier. Blackluster Soldier is an expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card that was printed all the way back in 1999 and at the first tournament of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it is at the first tournament of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's worth said to be around whoa, holy crap. Is it really that much, guys? Huh. Blue Eyes White Dragon first edition. I don't really feel like fact checking these, I'm sorry. 85 grand, okay. I feel like that's still, I don't know where to get these prices. Shonen Jump Cyberstein, that was one. It gets up to 30,000. Yep. So yeah, overall, I mean, short article, but I feel like you could have replaced this with any card game. Like, they're basically telling you like everything, like rarity and competitive. That is all for every card game. Overall, another good job article. Next up, Screen Rant. Okay, it's Screen Rant, so you know this is just gonna be a banger, right? They only put out the highest quality stuff. 10 saddest things about Joey Wheeler. His backstory is one. On Yu-Gi-Oh, almost every character has some kind of angst in their lives. Here are the saddest things about Joey Wheeler. In a lot of ways, Joey Wheeler is the deuteragonist. Yeah, I got that right. Deuteragonist of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. His duel career is the second most important in the series after Yugi's, and his journey from the inexperienced player to consummate duelist is one of the most compelling and complete in the show. As in one of Yugi's best friends, he's present in nearly every episode that plays a major role. I wouldn't say complete. It was compelling. Joey was probably my favorite character in DM, but when you say complete, that means he completed his arc. His last duel, he took an L, and that was it. And he didn't do anything for the rest of the series, really. So, all right. Still, and for all the growing up he does in the show, Joey is still seen by the characters as an immature, hot-headed prankster who's way out of his league when it comes to dueling, and despite his best efforts to prove himself, he never quite succeeds in earning the respect he clearly longs for. He's manipulated and turns against his friends. Yes, that was an arc there. So this is just talking about when Merrick takes over his mind. Joey tries his best, but the rod's too powerful. His friendship with Yugi proves too strong, and the duel eventually ends in a draw. Joey actually risks his own life to save Yugi's, proving just what a loyal and valuable friend he is. Okay. Obligation towards Serenity. This is his sister. The whole point of the first series, or the first season, was he needed money to give her eye surgery. His broken relationship with his mother. I'll have to read this one because I don't really know. I mean, obviously the parents are divorced, but Joey's parents divorced when he was 10, which results in his mother taking Serenity to live with her. Joey stays with his father, though he's hardly ever mentioned in the show. However, Joey makes it clear that he hasn't spoken to his mother since she separated him from Serenity, and clearly holds a grudge against her. I mean, yeah, teenage stuff, right? Because he never mentions his father, it can also be assumed that Joey's relationship with him is also strained, which explains why he's so close to his friends. They are like a second family to him, and goes to great lengths to protect him. His unresolved relationship with Mai. So, he's a high schooler, and she was a grown woman. At least, like, maybe she was like, I don't know, she worked in casinos and stuff, right? I don't know, right? Like, This was a plot line that was kind of weird. Like, he's underage, right? I think, but we'll see. Joey's relationship with Mai remains a confusing topic to this day. The anime shows them as sharing a friendly, flirtatious dynamic, although Joey seems to remain oblivious to the fact. A very gifted duelist, Mai initially thinks little Joey, but eventually grows to greatly care for him. Yeah, that's a gray area. His rivalry with Kaiba. Sorry, he never gets the W. So Kaiba spends most of the anime behaving like a huge jerk, especially towards Joey. Kaiba's famously says that Joey's a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck as one of his victory lines in the Duel Links game. Despite Joey's considerable improvement, Kaiba never changes his opinion about the blonde boy. Joey is usually able to ignore Kaiba's numerous taunts, but they do get to him. It doesn't help that Joey is never able to defeat Kaiba in a duel, which only adds more fuel to the rivalry's fire. He always depends on luck to win his duels. Yeah, I don't even have to read this part. Like, that's true. That's his whole thing. His achievements are always diminished. That's true. Joey finishes second in Duel's Kingdom and fourth in Battle City. His victories are such high profile and challenging tournaments should be enough to grant him a respectable reputation as an accomplished duelist. That is not the case, however. And often characters often say that Joey only reached the ending stages of the tournaments because of Yugi. People often mock Joey for never winning rather than celebrating him for being an amateur duelist who still manages to defeat a myriad of foes to make it all the way to the finals of both competitions. Yugi's Shadow. And speaking of Yugi, Joey's close relationship with the King of Games means that his own achievements always pale in comparison to Yugi's. Whether it's winning a duel tournament or literally saving the world, Joey is always second best to Yugi. That's a little harsh. He never wins a tournament. As it is previously mentioned, Joey finishes second Duelist Kingdom and fourth in Battle City. He fares even worse in the KC Grand Championship, where he loses during the quarterfinals to the big bad of the arc, Siegfried. So yeah, he actually does worse as time goes on. That's put it in perspective. That's actually kind of funny. No one takes him seriously. Number 1. Out of all the characters show, Joey is the one who receives the most insults and mockery, whether it's because of his laid-back, happy-go-lucky attitude, his colorful deck, or his failure to win any major duel. Joey ends up being ridiculed more than any of his friends. The dude almost beat Merrick. Like, he almost ended Battle City, like, right there, you know? Like, if it wasn't for, like, actual chets, like, he beat Merrick. He straight up beat Merrick, okay? So let's just, in defense of Joey, that's what we can say. Game Rant has Yu-Gi-Oh! 10 cards banned for crazy reasons. Alright, let's get going. Sometimes these articles tend to be like kind of wonky, but maybe this one's competent. We'll see. When I say wonky, it's like they'll put like weird stuff for weird reasons. Okay, 10 Yagurasu. That's a strong start. They actually seem to know what they're doing. This card just lets you like loop. As one of the 2 cards that caused the first real game-breaking loop, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Players have Yagurasu and Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy the End to thank for creating the idea of banning cards in the first place. When played alongside cards like Sangan and Witch of Black Force, Yagurasu turns Chaos Emperor's Dragon board clearing effect into an endless loop of chip damage and forcing the opponent to skip their draw phase. So if you don't know, you would just clear the field. You would have Yagurasu normal summon, and then like you would just attack. They can't draw. Attack for 100. Bam. That was like oof. Just for anyone that didn't know. Breaker the Magical Warrior. These days, Breaker is a pretty mediocre card, but back in its heyday, it was one of the more consistent spell and trap removal cards in the game. It's pretty nice to normal summon this boy. Although its effect is to destroy back row card is fairly limited, it became a much larger problem when paired with Apprentice Magician, which could give Breaker additional. Yeah, I mean, was it game breaking? I don't know. I didn't play a ton. Somebody in the comments let me know. It was like, was this like an actual issue? It was solely for the interactions of Print Edition, which only ever reached semi-limited status. The Breaker was banned for one format before returning as limited. I guess maybe just having like a monster walking removal. Injection Fairy Lily. Yeah, I did know this one. This one just lets you gain forever. Yeah. I mean, it would beat out just about everything in the game, battle including, without the aid of equipped spell cards. I mean, seems silly now, but yeah, that was pretty good. Grinder Golem, this was a relevant one. Like, they banned this one because Grinder Golem, Firewall Pointer, get it back. The ability to summon powerful extra monsters with only tokens was already a strong aspect of Link summoning, but the fact that players could summon Grinder Golem to the opponent's side of the field, gain 2 free tokens, and potentially make a game-winning field with just 1 Grinder Golem was enough to see it quickly banned. Gofu, my boy. As everyone knows, I'm a Blackwing lover. Gofu, you would summon this card out for free, get 2 tokens, use them to link, and that was just bonkers. Like Grinder Golem, Gofu the Big Shadow is a fairly weak. When it first released, it had a great effect to summon itself and 2 tokens to the field, but it was let down by the fact it was a tuner monster that couldn't be used for synchro summon with the tokens it summoned to the field. When Link summons were released, however, this negative effect was a non-issue since it could just be used to Link summon monsters instead. Yeah, that was a thing. Ancient Fairy Dragon. Bring it back, Konami. Come on. Ancient Fairy Dragon is once again the worst dragon synchro monster to come out of the 5Ds area, as it had to contend with the likes of Saddest Dragon for many years. While its effects weren't horrible, it was severely let down by its attack restriction and the lower power level of the field spell cards. This would change in recent years as field spell cards become some of the best cards in many decks. Ability to search or destroy them quickly made players realize just how good Ancient Fairy Dragon really was, especially considering how easily level 7 synchro monsters can be summoned. Is that a thing now though? I don't know. Like, I feel like if this came off, I don't know. Butterfly Dagger Elma. This is one that I actually don't remember why it got banned. I never actually looked into this. There's a lot of old things in Yu-Gi-Oh that even I don't know. Butterfly Dagger Elma. On paper, Butterfly Dagger Elma is a pretty mediocre equip spell, with only increasing the equipped monster's attack by 300. Its only saving grace is that it returns to the player's hand when it is destroyed. However, this card is pushed into the overpowered category when combined with 2 monsters. Allow players to draw an infinite amount of cards. Oh, I see. Equipped, it kills it, it goes back, can attack. Oh, I see. So you get. Oh, I see. When something is destroyed. Okay. With Gear Freed and Magical Library. Okay, yeah. Magical Library. For every time you activate a spell card, you get a counter. Every 3, draw. So forever loop this onto Gear Freed and draw cards. Okay, now I get it. Self-destruct button. Final countdown. Yeah, these were pretty game ending. I know about these. Self-destruct button is the only card to be banned that falls into none of these categories, and it's the only one on the event list because of its ability to force a tied game when played. Yeah, Konami does not like ties, like at least force ties. Mass Driver, Ronin Tonin, being in the same list that held the likes of Polygreen, Geki, Harpy, Shred Duster, and Delinquent Duo would make some players say Mass Drivers are incredibly powerful, but its true power only comes to play when used alongside the Frog archetype. Although Cannon Soldier has a very similar effect and was banned for largely the same reason, Mass Driver has the advantage of being a spell card that doesn't take up a normal summon, meaning Frog decks were able to take full advantage of its burn effect the turn it was played. It also helped Frog decks were able to summon potentially limitless amounts of monsters being the cost of dealing 400 damage. Oh, okay. Yeah, Mass Driver, that was a thing they had to get rid of. 6 Stints and Dragon Rollers. Yeah, 6 Stints, I remember this. Is a very old anime card that appeared in the name only and wasn't actually shown being played. During the Dragon Ruler era, it finally came into the game for players to use, but it was far too late for it to be a balanced card. Despite its high risk, high reward appearance, players would just declare the number 6 every time, no matter whether they could draw 6 or mill 6. Either way, they would gain a huge advantage in Dragon Ruler decks, as all the summoning conditions could activate from the graveyard as well as the hand. Yeah, this with Dragon Rulers, I could see why that was pretty broken. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video talking about just articles. I may do some more of this, may not, I don't know. This is just something for fun. I want to do something every once in a while. I like to make content for me, you know. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Join the Discord, slam that like button, hit subscribe, it really helps us out. We will see you later guys, bye.